Good evening. Welcome to tonight's episode of Music and Chatter. Tony Souza, the host and creator of this program, and his wife Joanne, the primary cinematographer, are taking a well-deserved break. Our musical guest tonight is Stephen Sampson. Stephen is the musical director at a local church, and I remember hearing him years ago when he was playing a piece by Debussy, and it was wonderful. Tonight he's going to be playing some popular music from the 20th century. Enjoy the show.
Hello and good evening. I thought that I would tell a story of how I got interested in playing popular music. When I was in the second grade, I started taking classical piano lessons from a woman in my hometown of Lewiston, Maine, and I continued taking lessons with her through high school, through the end of high school. She was a wonderful teacher. And before taking lessons with her, my mother gave me piano lessons, and my brother too. I don't remember for how long, but maybe for a year. And then in junior high school, I really started getting interested in playing popular music. And this was in large part because of a stack of sheet music on top of our piano at home. There was sheet music of popular tunes from my mother's high school days. So she had this sheet music as a high school student and played these tunes at home. So we had this big stack of pop tunes from the 30s, mostly the 30s, I think. And I just loved coming home from school and playing through these things. The romantic lyrics and the chords and the melody was just transporting to another world. So I'll play some of those for you tonight. Also in junior high school, I took lessons from the junior high school band director. This was at Montello Junior High School in Lewiston, one of the two public junior high schools in Lewiston. And he taught me how to play music using just the chord symbols and the melody. And I believe that's called a fake sheet, where you just have the chords and melody. And this is a page of music that he had back in those junior high days. I'll bring it up to the iPhone here. So we have two songs here on one page. You can see the chord symbols there and the melody, and a few tunes on that page. So learning how to play music from a fake sheet was a passport to a lot of fun. So I'll play a couple of tunes here. One is There Never Will Be Another You. Side we have Deed I Do. Also, I think this was in junior high school. I listened to a radio show on a local radio station in Lewiston, WCOU. The name of the show was either Spinner Sanctum or Spinner's Sanctum, and I didn't realize it at the time, I don't think, but the spinner, I think, referred to someone who spins records on a turntable, and the sanctum is the cozy spot where you can listen to music. And I remember listening to this at night after I went to bed. I had a little radio that was about the size of a matchbox with a little antenna and an earplug on a wire that you stick into your ear, and another wire with a metal clip that one clips to something metal to get reception, so I'd clip it to the metal lampshade next to the bed. And my memory is that this little radio got one station, but whatever the case, it got WCOU and that show, which was great. And as I remember, the host played old pop tunes from the 30s and 40s. So that was a great addition to my pop music education. In high school, I joined the band, and I played the glockenspiel in the marching band. In the concert band, I played the vibraphone, which is like a xylophone, but with the whirring fans underneath that give it a vibrato. And we also had a jazz band named the Tempo Men. The Tempo Men had quite a few tempo women in it. So Tempo Men was not quite the right name for it, but it didn't occur to me then. But we had a lot of fun. I remember we played at local events in Lewiston, and our band director, the fellow who was the band director for the marching band and the concert band, also directed the jazz band. And he was great. He was strict enough so that we did what we needed to do, but he also tolerated a fair amount of goofing around, both our behavior and musically. And I remember him encouraging me to improvise, which was great. And one thing about learning how to play pop music and learning how to play from a fake sheet, I realized there were some tunes I heard on the radio that I could pick out on the piano, so this was great. And I remember two of the tunes. I think these were like the first two I could pick out on the piano. One is titled Then You Can Tell Me Goodbye by the Casinos. And I remember being really excited that I could pick out this particular chord here. And another tune I remember picking out that was fun to play is 96 Tears by Question Mark and the Mysterians. And I think there's a lot more to that tune, but I think that's all I picked out. But it was fun anyway. Also in high school, I joined the Lewiston Musicians Union. As I remember, this was my band director's idea. So I got a lot of jobs in town doing that, along with generally a sax player and a drummer, also both from high school. So the three of us, sometimes there was a different sax player, but usually it was the same crew. And as I remember, we played at things like New Year's parties or parties at the Knights of Columbus, things like that. And as I remember, the rate for a gig, if you were in the union, was $20 for a three-hour engagement, 3 or 4, something like that. So that was fun. And I remember the first job I had in high school was first musical job was when the band director had an engagement playing in a restaurant in Lewiston, and the piano player couldn't make it, so he asked if I could. So that was fun. I was very nervous, but he really did his best to calm me down, and that was a lot of fun. So other musical experiences, the summer after junior year, I played the piano for, I think it was a couple of months, at a hotel in Agunquit, Maine, named the Lookout Hotel. And Sunday nights I played classical music in the lobby, kind of this old lobby with oriental rugs and standing lamps and elderly people sitting around listening to classical music. They were probably younger than I am now, but that's what it seemed like then. So I played things like Chopin waltzes. And then 3 or 4 nights a week, I played in a lounge at that hotel, at the Lookout. And I remember it was below ground, kind of below the level of the sidewalk, and dark and fairly crowded. And I'm pretty sure I played the organ there. It was not a pipe organ, but like looked like a spinet piano about that size with maybe an octave or 2 of pedals that I would play with my left feet. So that, if my memory is correct, that's my first experience with playing the organ. So that was 3 or 4 nights a week. And I lived in a dormitory behind the hotel with a bunch of the other employees there, which, or at least the other summer employees, which, as I remember, were all high school students. So that was fun. So I thought I'd play some tunes here from my mother's pile of sheet music. This is one of my favorites. The Way You Look Tonight, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, there they are. Music by Jerome Kern and lyrics by Dorothy Fields. also, in high school, I got a fake book. I think, as I remember, my band director thought I should have one, and as I remember, he got it for me. He didn't buy it for me, but obtained it. And this is the fake book from high school, what's left of it. So it's a book of maybe over 300 pages. Each page has 2 or 3 tunes on it, like the fake sheets that my junior high band director had made up. So this was an encyclopedia of pop tunes, maybe some going back to the late 1800s, I'm not sure about that, but a lot of standards from the 30s and 40s. And a friend of mine in the 70s saw this and thought it was pretty beat up, and she fixed it up and put it in this nice container. And this looked better then. But it's been with me all these years. And here's a typical page from one. This all used to be in a binder, but no longer. So these are 3 tunes on this side and 3 on that side. So there are over 300 pages in there. So I'll play a couple of these for you. The first one is titled, "It's the Talk of the Town." And here is "Everything Happens to Me." So this book's filled with hundreds of those. Here's another piece from the sheet music on the top of on the piano at home. This one is titled "Phil." from Showboat, and the book and lyrics are by Oscar Hammerstein. The second, music by Jerome Kern. And here is Blue Moon, lyrics by Lawrence Hart, music by Richard Rogers. And introduced, I guess, on the piano, but maybe he sang too, Ted Fiorito. So there's an introduction to the main chorus. So I'm not going to play the whole introduction, I'll play some of it. And then we'll get to the part that's probably familiar to you. I'll also add another job I had that was a lot of fun in my high school days. Actually, it was after high school. The summer after I graduated in 1969, I got a job playing the piano at a restaurant in Lewiston, Happy Jack's. And as I remember, that was an upright piano. It might have been one of those little organs, but I think it was an upright piano. And my girlfriend in high school was a waitress there. So in the summer. So that was an enjoyable summer. Also, in college, I didn't do too much of this. A little bit though, and I took lessons from one student in college on how to improvise, basically. And after college, I went to graduate school in piano performance, and at that school, Boston University, I got to know the administrative assistant to the, I think he was the dean of the music school, but she got word of a lot of piano playing jobs, either for the university or in town, I think. So anyway, I did a lot of what I had done in high school, playing jobs with a sax player and a drummer, stuff like that. And also some solo gigs, as I remember, but I don't know if those were through the music school. All right, another tune. I Get Along Without You Very Well, Except Sometimes. And music and lyrics by Hoagy Carmichael. So thank you, and hope you enjoyed the show, and it was a lot of fun for me. All right, thank you.